What's up, everyone? I'm Poketrainer Nick, and in this video, we are going to see how to properly appraise your Pokemon card collection. So if you ever wondered how to figure out how much is your Pokemon card worth in current times, I'm going to be showing you a few approaches to find that information out, whether that be a raw, like ungraded Pokemon card, or a graded Pokemon card using services like PSA or CGC. So if you're curious about this kind of stuff, stay tuned. We're going to see it after the break. All right, so we're going to be looking at a few approaches in this particular video. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I also wanted to put out this little warning. I realize that a lot of you may be long-term collectors. So for example, myself, I've been collecting since 1999, 1998, around that time when they first started coming out with Pokemon cards. My collection, to me, is more valuable than what it might actually be worth to other people or people on the internet or etc. So don't be too disappointed if you feel like your $1 million collection might only be worth a few dollars. So we're just going to appraise it to where if you plan to sell, that's what your Pokemon card would be worth, even though that it might be worth more money to you. So first of all, we're going to break things down into two different categories. We're going to be looking at graded, so PSA, CGC, etc., and we're going to be looking at raw, so ungraded Pokemon cards. So we're going to start with the ungraded approach. There's going to be a few approaches. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, and the solution that I show you may not even be the best that you can possibly find. These are just ways that I do it. So if you watch my YouTube videos and I ever put a last sold or recently sold, etc., these are the approaches that I'm using to find out those values. The first approach, so PokeData.io. So this is a popular approach that I've seen pop up recently. I've used it a few times myself. This is a free and / premium service, I believe. I've only ever used the free side of things. But if you go to PokeData.io, you're presented with this site. You can catalog and create a portfolio of all of your cards, or you can just look at last sold information for a few cards in your collection. So for example, let's go ahead and type in Venusaur. Now, when we do a search, we're going to be provided with pretty much every Venusaur that has possibly been released for the Pokemon Trading Card Game. Now, I'm not looking for one in particular, but maybe we look at this Black Star promo, which is a pretty cool card. So I go ahead and click it. What's going to happen is you're going to get some recent sales stats. You can create a free account to continue to see kind of charts and things like that. I've never actually created an account with this particular site. But if you scroll down a little bit further, you get information such as like, when was it last sold? What was the listing ID? Was it raw? Was it graded? What was the sale price? How many bids were on it? You get a lot of useful information. And I realize that you can log in to view the latest data, which, like I said, I don't actually have an account with PokeData.io. If you don't have an account, take note that the data that you see here might not be the most recent in reality. So if I click on this last date sold to sort it, as you can see, nothing really has changed. It may be taking a second to load. But for example, what I've seen is I've seen actual sales happen for a day of, like the current day that I'm on, but it only lists sales from, say, a few weeks ago. So this is an option if you want to get a rough idea of what your Pokemon card collection is worth. It may not be the most accurate to the day of, but you know what? It will give you a good idea. This information, I've checked it out. It does look pretty legit. And there's more that I want to share on this in just a few minutes. But this is going to be our starting point. You can actually look at what these raw cards are selling for on several popular websites. So this is one solution. But when it comes to raw cards, there's an approach that I like to use that I feel is even better than this. So you can actually go to TCGplayer, which is actually where I buy my single cards. So I actually do have a tutorial and a video up on the channel that shows you how to buy singles without having to buy booster packs. You can actually shop for the specific cards that you're looking for, pay a very reasonable fee, and they're legitimate cards. So let's go ahead and type in Venusaur into this search box. We're going to say Venusaur, and I'm going to hit enter. I don't know if I'm going to find that same exact card we saw on the previous, but what we do see here is we see quite a few Venusaurs we see a market price, and then we see an as low as price. So the market price is kind of an average of what these resellers are selling for, and then the low as price is like the lowest price that you can possibly get for this card on TCGplayer. But just so that way you're knowledgeable about what you're getting yourself into, let's go ahead and click on this. The lowest price doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a perfectly mint condition card. So this particular card, $13.99, it says damaged holofoil. This means that it was probably played with. It may have been bent. It's something that you probably shouldn't send in for grading, but you can get a good idea of what the mint condition cards are selling for as well. And these are actual comic book shops. These are independent resellers. These are people selling cards in this verified marketplace. So you're gonna have a positive experience, and you probably won't get too many, if any, counterfeit cards at all from TCGplayer. But that's from a buyer's perspective. We're trying to appraise our Pokemon card collection. So no better way to do that than just going to the home site and looking what the market price is for that particular card. Oh, I've got a base set Venusaur. Well, it's not first edition. It's not a shadowless. I could probably get roughly around $78 for it. It doesn't mean that I will absolutely get that. I could get more. I could get less. But that's a rough number to appraise your card given current market value. So TCGplayer is an option for raw cards. The PokeDataio site is an option for raw cards, which is a different kind of seller ecosystem. But using the two, you can get a good idea. Now we adventure into the graded cards. So graded cards are a little different because TCGplayer, I don't think I've ever seen any graded cards on TCGplayer. You can see the graded card value on PokeData.io. I always want to say PokeData API. It's PokeData.io. You can actually see the PSA grade. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna tell you the CGC grade or the Beckett or these other grading services. So you can only get a rough idea based on your graded card. But it'll say the score that it received. It'll say if it was how much it was sold for. There's some things that you got to take into consideration here. For example, you probably want to look at the cards that actually have bids, because no auction, maybe the item didn't actually sell, or maybe it was a or best offer kind of deal. Whereas you don't really know what that best offer was. It could have been listed at $3.35, but maybe it was sold for $1. You never know. So the ones with the actual bids, though, that's what it actually sold for. But this PokeData.io is an option. I actually prefer to go on eBay directly to look at the value of my cards. It takes a little bit more time. I don't get this really great UI or user experience that PokeData.io gives you in this sense. And just to throw it out there, I'm not actually getting sponsored by PokeData.io. They don't even know I'm talking about them. This is just a site that I know is very popular and I've used a few times myself. So what I want to do is I want to go to eBay. Let's go ahead and type something in that might be realistic. So I'm going to say, here we go, Charmander first edition. Actually, Charizard, Dark Charizard PSA 8. So this is a Team Rocket card. I've done this search in the past, as you can see. You don't want to go based on what you see here. So what you see here are the actual live listings, and they haven't sold yet. So this person who's asking for roughly $240 for their card may never get that. So you don't want to value your Pokemon card based on things that haven't recently sold. So instead, what you can do on eBay is you can scroll down after you do your search, keep going all the way down, and you'll see this checkbox that says show only sold items. Now, these are the items that were actually sold. And the good news for us is they were sorted based on the sell date. So we're looking at recent data. So May 22nd is the sell date, which is actually today. So it was sold today, has 3 bids. So this Dark Charizard Beckett 8.5, which actually isn't what we were looking for. We were looking for PSA 8, but it actually shows the actual price that it was sold at. $152.50 with 48 bids for this PSA 8. Here we go. Unlimited Dark Charizard. So this is what we were looking for. So if it was last sold for that and there was that many bids, that's probably a good indicator that my card is worth roughly around that price. Let's scroll down to another example. So I know that this is a little further down the chain. It's a few days ago. This is a Japanese card. It's PSA 9. It's not exactly what we were looking for, but this is an example I want to make, or even down below. Here's another one with a best offer accepted. The strike through price on 175 or 214. It was listed at that price. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that it sold for that amount of money. I mean, I've seen circumstances where people list their card for thousands of dollars, but it doesn't necessarily mean your card is worth thousands of dollars. Instead, they received a best offer, and that best offer, it could be anything. We really don't know. So the best indicator to check the value of your graded Pokemon card, or you could even search for raw cards as well on eBay, is to look at to see if there were any bids. And one bid, there could be false bids in there. You never know. Any circumstance, this 27 bids, there could be like the seller bidding on their own item just to save it. I don't know how eBay works sometimes, but it is a fair indicator that it probably is worth roughly around there. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's an exact science and worth exactly that, but it's a good idea. So if you're ever curious when it comes to your Pokemon card collection, you want to know how much it's worth. You don't want to just go based on what people are telling you, because the market is fluctuating quite rapidly. If you're looking at raw cards, like I said, check out TCGplayer. Look at the market value of those cards, of what the comic book shops are selling them for, the card shops are selling them for. Look at PokeDATA.io. See what the last sold values are for some of these cards. It may not be the most recent, but it will give you a general idea. The graded Pokemon cards, you have to do a little different digging. Like I said, PokeData.io, it might not show anything beyond PSA, but you could always drop into eBay, look at those last sold items, and get a good idea on what that card might be worth graded. And like I said, there are many other ways to do this. This isn't the only solution to checking the value of your cards. They are just a few solutions. They're solutions that have worked for me. They're the way that I list them in my own YouTube videos whenever I show the price of a card. So that way you know where I'm getting that information from, where other popular streamers are getting that information from, and just so that way you can have your own peace of mind. And I just want to reiterate again that just because your cards are valuable to you, on my set, I value it as almost priceless on some of them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are actually priceless. They're just more priceless to me. So this is an actual appraisal of your cards, not a professional appraisal, but still an appraisal of some sort. If you like this video, once again, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification icon so that way you never miss a video. And then stop by my blog. So it's PokeTraderNick.com. If you want to see write-ups and tutorials about buying Pokemon cards, selling Pokemon cards, comparing, playing, etc., I have a lot of cool stuff on that site. It's worth checking out. Till next time, see you later, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.